And please, one thing I want to mention before you sign any contracts, before I say life again, clue, oh, how do I get to Georgia? Life clue, what is the cost of living in Georgia? Life clue, how do I get a job? Is the job enough to pay for my rent? Is it enough to pay for my bills? Is it enough to do this? Is it enough to do that? How do I start a life in Georgia? Don't worry, I got you in this video. Oh my god, where will I start from? Hello guys, okay, the side should stop is hello guys, so I don't even know what to say. Guys, welcome back to Life Clue. My name is Ruth Agbeke, and today I am so glad and happy to be here. I'm so glad and happy to be here. Today I'm going to be talking about how to start a life in Georgia. I know most of the questions because I've been getting a lot of DMs. Actually, I was supposed to do this video a long time ago, but at least it's better to be late than never. Let me apologize for that. I live in Georgia, Tbilisi. I'm a medical student. So today I'm going to be telling you guys all about how to start a life in Georgia. By this point, I expect you to have finished getting your, you've gotten your visa already, you're preparing to be on your way to Tbilisi, Georgia. Now the question is, what do you do when you get to Tbilisi, Georgia? So I'm going to put timestamp. I hope I have time to do that, but I'll try my best to put timestamp on this video and just go to the particular ones that suit your situation. So first thing, when you get into Tbilisi, Georgia, of course, get a SIM card at the airport. You can get Maxi, you can get Beeline. I use Beeline, but most people say Maxi is best for them. And there is another, I think, GeoCell. So get any one of it and put on data, register it, and that's all. At least you have a SIM card and contact your people, anyone, your parents, your siblings, your sponsors, that you are now in Tbilisi, Georgia. That's the first thing. So after that, the next question is, of course, you do airports, someone pick you up from the airport. And by the way, in case you don't know, I offer the services, Life Clue agent services. It will be linked down below, or you can check on my Instagram page. There will be a poster. I will try and pin it on my Instagram so you can contact me. I do all this so you won't be stressed, and I would explain what I do actually in the pin down post on my Instagram. So let's just go straight to this video. So like I was saying, when you get into Tbilisi, they stamp you at the door, pam, 90 days free. So as soon as you step into Tbilisi, Georgia, if you come in exactly with Georgian visa, they stamp you 90 days free. And when they do stamp you 90 days free, you come inside, you settle down, you do that. The first thing I'll say is, second day or the third day, go directly to your school. Get a school letter. You try and get 2 school letters. Not try, you should get 2 school letters. One for visa application, not visa application, TRC. When I say TRC in this video, I'm talking about temporary resident permits, and one for bank, to open a bank account. So when you do that, so you already have these 2 letters. So the next step is to go straight to the bank. So we have 2 major banks that most students use here, either TBC Bank or Bank of Georgia. Bank of Georgia is, like, to me, the official bank is the official bank for students, because they are the one that give you, like, the student card thing. So you go to Bank of Georgia, you ask them that you want to open an account and you are a student, and you give them the letter stating that you're a student. For now, TBC is having ish, especially if you are a Nigerian. They ask you some question, they will even tell you to pay some particular money and come back, and they will think about if they want to register you. So I'll first advise you go straight to Bank of Georgia, because Bank of Georgia official student card offer a lot. There are a lot of benefits to it. Sometimes there are sales on things that, because you are a student and you have the student card, you can benefit from this. Not sometimes, the bus card. As a student, if you have Bank of Georgia students card, you pay 0.2033. That's like 0.20 cents. You pay, I'm not saying it's the equivalent of 20 cents. I'm just saying, like, 33 is like cents to us. Yes. So by the way, Georgian Lari is, as of now, is 2.7. Literally, it's fluctuates between 2.7 to between 2.67. Let's say that, to about 2.78 ish. So you understand, so it's like that's the equivalent to $1. So that's it. So when you get to the bank, you open your bank account, you tell them you're a student, you give them the student letter and from your school, and they'll open the bank account. They will ask you to come in few days, 2 to 3 days, to come and collect your student card. And when you're done with that, then when you go back to get your student card, or when you go back there, you tell them you want to open a bank, you want to get a bank statement. In this bank statement, you should have about $2,500 equivalent to Larry, because most times they open for Bank of Georgia, the account they open for you is Larry account. So you have the equivalent of 2,500 gel. I would advise that, or upwards or more if you have more. How do you get this? We have people that do this as a business in Tbilisi, Georgia. Like, they give you the money, you pay them some particular amount of money, they give you that particular amount of money, you put it in your bank account, then they wait when the bank prints out the official bank statements, you give them back their money. These things are part of the things I offer in Life Clue services. I get you the people, but again, if you don't want to use my services, you can just ask people in your church, people around you, that, oh, do you know anybody who can get me a bank statement, in case you don't have that kind of money with you, right? So when you have that, you put that in your account, the bank produces the bank statement. They probably ask you to come back the next day, because they need the money to sit in your account for probably 24 hours, and then you come back the next day, you get your bank statement. Now you have this bank statement. And one thing I will please caution you about, because this is what a lot of people make mistake about: whatever name they write in your school letter that is in Georgian language, make sure it's equivalent to the same name that is in your bank statement. Every letter, literally read it. Literally, I know you can't read the Georgian language, but give it to them. Tell them, please make sure the name is the same thing, because when you go to apply for your temporary resident card or permits, it's going to be an issue, because they need it to be the same name, right? To be the same letter, to be the same name. So you make sure that you tell them, please can you help me check, let the letters be the same thing, right? So you do that. When you get the bank, when you get the, something is just happening now, okay, when you get the letter, right, you've gotten this bank statement. Now you've gotten your bank statement, you've gotten your school letter. Then the next thing you try and get is you try to translate. Then you have to go to the notary, you translate your passport, and again the name translation come in place. Make sure it's the same name, probably to make life easy for you, because you'll be thinking, where do I get notary, where do I translate? When you go to public service, or just write on Google Map public service, or this is where you do the O temporary resident permit. In front of the O, a lot of people are standing there offering you their services to translate. I think translation is about translation and notarization. So you translate, not just translate, you translate and notarize it. It's about 30 to 40 Larry. So let's say maximum 50 Larry. I don't know how much they are doing it exactly now, but I know it's not more than 50 Larry. So when you have those, they'll literally do it within an hour, you get it. So now you have 3 documents with you: your bank statement, your school letter, and your translated passport. These 3 documents, you take it inside the public justice house. You meet someone at the door or in front, and you tell them, oh, I want to apply for temporary resident card. And again, I would like to tell you, for you to apply for your temporary resident permits, you must have nothing less than 45 legal days left. You know, I told you at the door, at the gates, or at the entrance into Georgia, they stamp your passport. That means they've given you 90 legal days to be in Georgia. So that time's like, immediately you come, just go and do it, to avoid any clash, to avoid any issue, because that's another problem a lot of people get into, right? So now you must have at least nothing less than 45 legal days. And if you're going through the way I'm saying it now, that you're not wasting time, you should have more. In fact, you should have 60, 70 safe, because in the first 2 weeks you should already do this, right? So now you have your temporary your translated passport, your school letter, your bank statement. You take it to them, you tell them that you would like to apply for your temporary resident permit. They give you the letter, they ask you what documents you have. Of course, you have the Georgian visa already, you have the 3 documents, and then another thing they will ask you is, okay, now that you have these documents, so they'll give you a paper to fill, you fill it, and there's a space where they'll say, how many days do you want this? Don't do too much. Don't say you want 1 week, don't say you want 2 weeks. Just pick 1 month. 30 days is there. Just pick the 30 days. That is the standard. Pick the 30 days, click on it. That is what you want. Then every other thing, that's literally all the documents you have. Then you write it down. There's a space in that same form. What documents do you have? You write it down. Then when you're done, you submit this, and that's it. Then we open God. But definitely, surely, I trust that they will give it to you. Then you submit it. Then in 30 days, they send you a message from your SIM card. That's why it's also important to get a SIM card. They send you a message on your SIM card by SDA. So you might not be able to translate what they say. Just go back to Public Justice House and be like, oh, okay, I'm here to get the result of my temporary resident card. Then when you get it, they will ask you to they'll tell you the result. By God's grace, it's positive, and the grace of God is sure. So it's positive. You go and apply for the card. When you go and apply for this card, they'll ask you to either fill a form, take this form to your landlord, or you go and take this form to your landlord, or you bring your landlord to the public hall to justify or to say that you actually live in their building, in their own apartment. And in 10 days, you come back for your card, and you are now what? They go. At least they'll give you 1 year. I know, first timers, most time they give 1 year. Then the second time you apply, hopefully they give you more than 1 year. So it depends. So that's it for getting your temporary residence card. Congratulations. Another thing you want to do when you get to Jeddah is to find an apartment. Most times you try to do this before you come in, but in case you're unable to, that means that's where you probably book an hotel reservation, right? You book an hotel reservation in case you're unable to get an apartment. But for all this, to get an apartment, I always say this, there are 2 major websites, ss.ge or myhome.ge. These are the websites where you get apartment from. Just state the information you need. But it's easier, as a first timer, I would say it's easier for you to use an agent. Most times the agent don't collect extra charges. Yes, they don't collect extra charges. Even if you try and get the apartment yourself, you will still pay first and last month's rent. So why not use someone that is much more like your mind is at rest? They'll look for the apartments. Just not to disclose people's personal information, I have a list of house agents that I recommend people to, so you can just send me a DM. I promise I'll reply you. I know I don't reply, don't worry, I promise I keep to my word. I'll reply your messages. So just send me a DM. I'll send you the list of agents, house agents I know, that I use, that I trust. I'll send them to you and tell them your budget, tell them how much you want it for, and most times they'll be the one to recommend the area. But if you don't trust the area they're recommending to you, just send me a DM back that, oh, this is the school I'm going to, what areas do you think is best for me to stay in as a student? So they recommend it. So it depends on your choice. Do you want to share an apartment? Do you want to live in 1 bedroom? Do you want to live in 2 bedroom? If you share apartment, of course it's cheaper in terms of you have someone to split the bills with, you have someone to talk to, you're not lonely, especially as a new student. But of course, if you like your space and your time, you have to put all these things in consideration, right? And just tell the agent, and if it's that they need you to, if you want to get an apartment, like shared apartment, sometimes they offer to find an housemate for you, which might be tricky, but they'll try their best to find an housemate for you. And when I mean housemate, I don't mean roommates like you guys. But if you want to share rooms, if you really do want to share rooms, like to save money, also tell them that, oh, do you know someone that wants to share 1 bedroom apartment? Someone can decide to stay in the living room, someone can decide to stay in the room, or they try to get to houses that they are literally like 2 beds, so you're not like sleeping on the same beds if you want that kind of option. So yes, so when you do this, right, so just contact them. They try to find you an apartment. Hopefully they do this before you come. And please, one thing I want to mention, before you sign any contracts, before I say again, before you sign any house contract, as a student that is planning to apply for TRC, just to avoid any issue in the future, make sure you ask them before you sign any contract that, please, would you be willing, right? Would you be willing to sign the form that I am a resident in your apartment for public justice or for public service or to show that I am a student. And if they say yes, make sure you write it in the contract that when it is time for me to apply for my temporary residence permit, that my landlord so and so states that he or she would be willing to follow me to the justice house to show that he or she is my landlord, or to fill the form that he or she is my landlord. This has caused a lot of issue because at the end of the day, some of them are trying to avoid taxes, and when they have someone in their apartment, right, and you declare at justice house that this so and so person is your landlord, they are probably paying tax. So some of these people avoid this thing. They don't want to be involved in it. So when it's now time for you to apply for your TRC, you've gotten the TRC, and now it's time for you to get your card, and you need your landlord or landlady to sign that, okay, oh, this person is my tenant. Fill the form, fill their house information form and all that. There will be nowhere to be found. They say no. Some of them will even deny it bluntly, like, I never said I'm going to help you with this. Now you either have to pay someone outside to fill this form for you, and when you pay someone outside to fill this form for you, there's always this fear of what if they cancel the resident permit because of house thing, and you travel, you're coming in, you'll be wondering what the issue is. I literally just came back from a trip, from a vacation, and at the door I was already scared. Like, see, that's even another story for another day, right? So all these things, please make sure you ask. Not just even ask, make sure you write it in within your contract. Don't let anybody, not even the house agent, don't let the house agent say, oh yes, of course he will sign it. No, talk to them. If they don't understand English, write it on Google Translate and translate it, and let them write it back to you, and let them translate it on their phone. A word is enough for a wise. Is it for a wise or for the wise? Whichever. It's loving borrow. Shego. I've said my own. Nobody should do anything and say, oh, what will I do? My landlord is not applying for. And if you the funny thing is, if you now decide to not change your house to get someone that, whoa, we sign you the contract, you still have to pay last month rent. Why? Because you breached your contract of not spending 12 months in that house. Do you get? So I think I've done the aspect of house searching and the aspect of what is it called? Getting TRC. How do I get my TRC? How do I get my temporary resident permit? That question has been answered. I did my due diligence. And for those that like used a third party, like when I mean third party, use a third kind of visa, like maybe use your UK visa, your US visa, your any kind of other kind of visa that is not like, as long as it's not Georgian visa that states you're a student. If you use any other thing to enter into the country, right, the first thing is within the 90 days that you are stamped, go to this same public justice house, apply for Georgian visa. I know it is weird. Georgia is the only country I know, I don't know for that you can apply for the visa within the country that you've not had the visa before. So you can apply for Georgian visa in Georgia. When you get this Georgian visa in Georgia, right, then I think the only difference between the document you need for temporary resident permit and the Georgia visa in Georgia is TRC. Is oh Lord, not TRC, is health insurance. And for these people, it might be difficult for you to open a bank account, because why? You don't have, with Bank of Georgia, you can't open a Bank of Georgia bank account with Bank of Georgia because there's a list they have on their system that shows that you're actually a student. So in that case, you don't have that. So you probably go to Tbilisi to open the account, right? But you get school letter and all that. So that is another ish for another day. Then when you are done with this, then you now come back to the steps I listed in the beginning for temporary residence permits. So that's it. And for those that unfortunately, if you didn't have 45 legal days left on your paper, one way or the other, maybe you saw this video too late or something, somewhere, something, and this is the point where I would say, please share this video to your friends, your family, whoever you know that is interested in coming to Georgia. Make sure you share this video to them so that they can know all this information. It is important. It is important. It is very important. Please share it on your status, share it on anything, just for people to know about this. So After that, for those that unfortunately maybe their legal days is over, maybe they have less than 45 legal days, I would advise you go straight and apply for extension. Go straight and apply for extension. When you get to the extension place, there's a letter that they will expect you to fill in Georgia language. Send me a DM. There's a picture of what someone gave me, an example of it. I can just forward it to you and you just write it back in Georgia, or I can send you somebody's number and she will literally fill it with her hands and she will do all that for you. So then after extension, then you now apply for visa, then you now apply for TRC. So it's like that, it's like that. And for TRC, temporary resident permit, is literally, the last time I did it, which was a few months ago, was about 300-ish gel. So let's just give or take, it's not going to be more than 400 lari, not dollars. So don't let anybody go and collect money from me and say, oh, for temporary resident permit is $300. No, lari. Like, of course, they will add their own, agents will add their own. Why? Because this is not for free. It's not easy, right? Because they walk up and down looking for translation, looking for all this, looking for that with you and all that, of course. But it is the main money you pay at the Justice House is no more than 400 gel. In case, I'm just putting 400 gel in case they add more to it or minus it at that place. So it's like 400 gel. 400 gel is about $150 or $170, but it's not up to $200. So yes, USD. So, oh my god. So yes, those are this, and I have my paper with me. I'm trying to check. So what other things? Okay. And as for the things, somebody asked me, as for the things, what things should I bring to Georgia when I'm coming? Apart from your official document, of course. Apart from your official document, of course. I would say for the ladies, as a black skin girl, bring as much product as you can. Like maybe something for your hair, attachment, just to avoid buying it here. Though we have a store that sells that Darathon, and we have a lot of people that actually sell those things outside. So, but at least for the first 6 months, to avoid extra expenses, bring it if you can bring it. Bring it from your home, your gel, your edges and all those things. And of course, we have we have a way to ship from Amazon down to Georgia. You can use the post office, you can use the third parties, USA to Georgia, Kiwi Post. By the way, I think I would update the apps you need in Georgia. The apps that you need in Georgia. I had the video before, I did the video before on that, but I'm going to update it, so I'll list all these apps on it that will make your life a bit easier in Georgia. So yes, for those things, yes. And of course, food stuff, African food stuff, if you can carry it. For me, it's not that necessary, but if you can, if you want it, do that. Like I said again, we have people that literally sell. We have someone called Dara Word. Yeah, I'll try my best to put it on screen. If I can't, it's Dara, D-A-R-A Word. We have Daraton, and those people sell African food stuff and all that too, in case you want that, so you don't have to bring. And it's literally not that expensive, because at the end of the day, you still have to buy from these people. Because I don't know, unless you want to carry 1 year supply, or maybe you literally plan to travel every semester, so that way. So what else? Oh, and at the airport, they ask you some questions. So your agents, whoever is helping you with these services, should be able to tell you those questions that they ask at the airport, because I'm very sure they will have more information, because they just brought people literally out of, like, people just came into the country, so they have the questions. And if you are not using a Georgian visa, never tell them you are a student, because the question will be, why can't you apply for visa? So just tell them you're on vacation. But outside of that, if you're a student, yes, say it with your full chest, I'm a student, this is my school letter. You bring your school letter, you bring everything possible just to show that you are a student. You bring your admission letter, you bring your visa, you bring everything just to show that you are a student also, school. Simple and short. And again, don't try and struggle with English. If you know that this person that you're speaking to, the English is not clear, please use Google Translate. It is your best friend, just to avoid any them say, what you know, say they said it. So yeah. And what else? And again, if you are coming in and you're using third party visa, you have to provide your hotel reservation. So yeah. And I think, oh yeah, sorry, I'm not finished. The last and most important part that everybody's always asking me about is jobs. Jobs. How do we get jobs? What is the job like? Can I pay my school fees? Can I do this? Can I do that? Yes, there are jobs. No, there are particular type of job, which is customer service job, English speaking game presenters. So you work in the casinos. The most popular one is Evolution Gaming and Proxy Life in Georgia. So those are the two popular ones at the moment, and they are very student friendly. And also we have customer service representative, like locksmith. You work with the locksmith, but you're working with the US company. And most of these jobs are all usually night jobs. So now the question is, can I use it to pay my school fees? I will advise that you don't plan to use it to pay your school fees. Yes, people are doing it, because some people are doing two jobs at the same time and they are going to school. I don't know how they do it, but may the Lord continue to strengthen them, because I really don't know how to do it. But how they do it. But I would say these jobs are just for day-to-day upkeep, because the salary is literally the salary is literally between, like, let's say 350 to 500 or 600 USD per month. And this thing also depends on how much you work, the time you work, because it's mostly per hour and all that. Per shift, like where I work now, per shift is like 68 point something lari. So at the end of the day, when you do 22 shifts, you get 1,500 lari. That is equivalent to about 555 US dollars, right? So let's say per month you get 555 US dollars. Your rent, give or take, is about $250 if you're sharing a 2-bedroom apartment with somebody. But if you're living alone, it's probably like $300 upward, right? So $250 is out of your $500, remain $250. So from that, you feed, you pay bills. So I won't say it's enough to pay your school fees. So I will always advise people, yes, try and get your school fees outside of Georgia, but don't depend on whatever you get from the salary to pay. And to get the job, it's not like it's roaming about though, it's on the floor. No, it takes a while, it takes time. You can, most times I would say that these jobs are gotten like word of mouth. Ask people in your church that you know that is working, that do they have vacancy in their church place, because that's how I get in their workplace. That's how I get most of my job. Like I ask around, oh, do you have vacancy? Can you introduce me to somebody? Like that. And you just do your CV, and yes. So you just talk to people around in your church that you know they are working, ask them the type of job they are doing. If there's vacancy, how can you apply, and let them help you, put you through on how to do it. And best thing best, get a remote job. It's not easy, but people are getting it, so you can also get it. So that's another thing. So for jobs in Georgia, yes, but it's not a money that you can use to save, you can use to live large and all that. You can just use it to maintain your normal lifestyle, go to school, come back, go to work and all that. And now the question is, how do you manage your time? You learn to manage your time. That's all I can say. You work at night, you go to school in the morning or in the afternoon. So you have to just literally learn to manage your time. Nobody's going to teach you how to do that. You have to learn how to do that. So that's that about jobs and all that. So I will always say the job you get is like a complement or supplementary of whatever you're getting from home. The cost of living in Georgia, is okay, in my opinion. It is okay. It is not expensive, it is not cheap, it is just okay. The reason why it's probably expensive is the fact that you only pumping money into the system, you can't get money back. Do you understand? Like, you're pumping money into the system, like you're not getting money back. Like, there are no reasonable jobs you can do to get money back, right? So, but the cost of living in general is okay. About $200 per month is enough to feed yourself. I don't say pay rent though. To feed. And that's if you're not doing too much. You're not like going out, doing all these things. It's enough to buy food stuff in your house, to feed yourself and be okay. So that's what I would say. Like $200, $300. Let me just say $300, because now some things are still expensive. And of course, there's recession everywhere, all over the world. It's not just to a particular country, it's all over the world. So that's that. And also, what else is there again? I think I've done my best. If there's any other question you want, please comment down below. I'll try my best to answer it. Don't worry, I'll actually do answer these questions. I'll make sure I do. I promise I'll make sure I do. And what other things do people ask? How is the community here? The community here is good for me if you join a community. If you're a Christian, I would advise you find a Bible believing based church. I'll recommend of course, I'll obviously recommend my church. I'll say Love Dominion Assembly. We have Redeemed Church here. We have Baptist Church here. We have the Catholic Church here. I'll ask you to join a community, join a church, join a community that you can. I think there's also a mosque here, just one. Yeah, just join a community. It will avoid the level of loneliness. But in general, when you join a community, you find your tribe, you find your people. It's easier that way. And also, I would say, when you're coming, before you come, try and learn a skill, one or two. You can be making hair, you can be cooking, you can be, I don't know, cleaning houses. Yeah, people do that, and there's nothing to be shameful about. It's an honest way of making a living. But of course, like I said, this money is not the kind of money you want to be using to pay school fees, to be doing this, to be doing that, to be doing that, but it's enough to take care of your lifestyle, to take care of yourself. And again, I would like to say lastly, when people ask, should I bring my family here? Me personally, I'm not in the school of thought of that, but because I think this environment is more of a student environment, unless you have a particular type of job that is bringing you here, like maybe your company is bringing you here. No wala. But if you are coming here and someone is lying to you that there are jobs in Georgia, it's a lie. Oh. It's a lie. To take care of your family, to feed your family, to do all that is a lie. I don't believe it. I've not seen it. Yes, there are people that work here that are not students. Of course, God has opened doors for them. And if that's what the Spirit of God is leading you to do, to come to Georgia to do something, of course, follow the leading of the Spirit. And may God help us all. So, I think I've tried. If you have more questions, like I said, please post it down below. And if you have any other thing you want to say and you don't want to post it down below, send me a DM. I'll try my best to respond. I'll literally, at least give me 24 to 48 hours. I'll respond to you. Thank you once again so much for watching. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because this motivates me more to do more. Yeah? Thank you so much. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next coming video. And if you have any other video you want me to shoot or you want me to talk about, please make sure you comment down below. Also, I'll put all my contact information down below. Contact me, tell me what's up. I'd like to hear from you. Love you. Take care of yourself. Bye. And see you soon in Georgia for those that are coming. And don't be shy. Greet me. Hello, Ruth, or life cool like this. Take care of yourself. I love you. Bye bye.